Okay, next up, let's start implementing our success page. So when an order goes through, let's have a page that we actually can see, like our order information and maybe a nice success page. And then we can redirect our users back to the home page. So for that, let's again close everything up nicely here. And we will create a success.js page. So every time, because if you remember, if we go to our API Stripe here, every time an order goes through, we get redirected to the success page. So let's make the success page. Success page. I said it like 20 times. Success.js. There we go. So first of all, let's do export async function. And we'll do something a bit different here. Actually, let's do export default function success first, like that. Okay, cool. So here, what we'll do is we'll have a div. Let's make this a React component, React, a div here, and we'll have a card here that's going to display. So let's do another div. That's gonna say H1, thank you for your order. And what I want to do here is display let's say a confirmation email has been sent to, and I want to add the user's email address here. So how do we get that email? And I also want to add all the other information of like what they bought and their address down here below. So in this card here, we'll add another div, which is going to hold h3 the address, and then the address info here, and then another div here that's going to hold all the products. So we're going to say h3 products, and then h2 all the products need to be displayed here. Okay, cool. And then at the end here, so let's see where that big div is. Let's do it after this div, after the products div. Down here, let's add a button that says continue shopping. And we'll just hook up a React router here. So we'll do import use router from next router. And then we'll just do an on-click here, on-click, and redirect them back to the home page. So we'll just run an arrow function and say route.push back to home, like that. Then we need to also add the router here. So we'll do const route equals to use router. Okay, and make sure we also return all of this JSX down here. So just wrap it with a pair of parentheses and we are good to go. All right, so this would display here. And I'm also gonna copy over an image of a Shiba Inu. So you can do any image and just drop it in the public here. So I'll just drag that over really quickly. Can I drag that over? Have it on my desktop somewhere. Let me just get that really quickly. Do I have it? Oh, I don't think I have it. I'll look for it. We'll do that at the end. We can add a picture of a Shiba Inu in here. But yeah, that's it. So this would run now every time we do a successful order. But what we want to do is somehow get all the products and the address and everything that the user just submitted. So what we can do is go over to Stripe here, and basically you create the session here, right? Every time you make an order, a session gets created. So what we can do is basically send the session information through to the success URL here. So what you do is you add a question mark and a and symbol, and then you say session ID, like that. And then you just pass this, set this equal to checkout session ID. Okay, it's in the docs. This is how you do it. This is how you can pass down the session over to the success page. So now we will have it available here. And what we're gonna do is fetch that session with Stripe. So what we'll do here is create an export async function, get server side props. Now this is again a function that specifically only runs on the server. And once it runs on the server, it can retrieve you any type of data through the params here. So I can add params here like that. And since we are sending this checkout session ID here in the URL, we can retrieve it through the params. So let me just show you quickly if I just do a console log params.query here. Basically, when an order goes through, so let's just add this one here, purchase it. Let's complete this. Cool, purchase. We'll get redirected to the success. Oh, let me add the postal code as well. We'll get redirected to the success page now. There we go. And we get an error, that's fine. But we can see that the CS test, this code here gets passed in the session ID. Super cool. So that's what we're getting through params. Let's see if it got console logged out here, and it did. Check it out, session ID. So this session ID is going to hold all the information that we passed through here in this session. Okay, so what we can do now, since we have it in params query here, we can import Stripe. So we can do const Stripe, set this equal to require Stripe. And here we can open another pair of parentheses and pass in process.env.next public Stripe secret key. Okay. And now here we can retrieve that order. So we can say const order is equal to await stripe.checkout.sessions, and we can do a retrieve here like that. And this is going to take in our params.query. We try to pull out the session ID, right? So session ID. Cool. And that's it. Now to actually get the pictures here and everything, so the line items, which is, where is it? Line items here. See, we're looping over it. We're getting the price, images, etc., etc. By default, it does not show you those things. So what you need to do, it says in the docs, is you need to expand it out. So you just say expand array and the different properties you want to expand, in this case, line items. All right. Otherwise, it's literally not going to show line items for you. It's not going to show you the products that the people bought. So that's it. So this is going to run on the server now. And at the end, we are just going to return props order. All right. We're returning this order. We're fetching it on the server and we're returning it. And then we will have access to it right here. And that's it. So that's get server-side props in a nutshell. You can run, whether it's a API request that you want to fetch, a Stripe session order, a user, whatever it might be, you can do it in here and then just return it in props. Okay, and then we can pull everything out, which is really simple. We can go here to the email. You can do a console log out if you want to see all the data that you get back of order. But we're just going to write it out. Just so we are a bit quicker. We're going to say order customer details.email, and that's how we get it. And then for, let's actually console log it out because I want to show you something cool. Console log order. Cool. Should be able to do a refresh of this. Okay, we have an error. Let's see what it is. Argument session must be a string, but got undefined. Let's take a look through this again. When we're using router, we are importing Stripe. Export async function gets server-side props. That's correct. Params const order. We are awaiting a stripe.checkout.sessions. Retrieve params.query session ID, and we are expanding and returning this. That should be okay. Argument session must be a string. Checkout session. So it says this is not a string and it's an object. So let's go back here to our Stripe API and see if we did this correctly. Might be a little error here. Session ID equal to, see, we did an object. It should just be one curly bracket like that. Cool, so that should fix it. Let's see. Do another refresh. Okay, that doesn't work either. We might need to do another. Let's close up the server and just try this again. Run that again and go through it again. So let's buy this, purchase, add the email, random name, random address. Okay, and then the cart. Add 42 everywhere and checkout. No, we are still getting the error. This is interesting. So now, as you can see, we don't get the object there anymore, which is fine. So that should be good. Okay, let's double check everything again. It's these small little errors that get you every time. Success. Okay, I don't know why I added this symbol here. That shouldn't be there. So question mark and session. Is that it? Refresh. Okay, I'm gonna manually remove it here. Like that. Okay, so that got rid of that error. That's good. It says this property cannot be expanded now. Okay, so that's defo an error in our success page. So let's take a look at that. Let's go to the success. Oh, it's line underscore items. Let's oh, there we go. Look at that. It works. So as you can see, it pulls it out. Thank you. A confirmation email has been sent to Ed Magician, address, info, etc., etc. So we console logged out the item here. So as you can see, we get an object and look at all the different information we get. If you want to pull out the shipping options, you can do that. If you want to pull out, as you can see, the line items here. Where is it? Here. So this would be empty if we didn't do the expand. But now since we've done that, we can see the actual things that we purchased, like the price, the quantity, the actual item, and all of this good stuff. Okay, so cool. So let's pull out all of this info, and whatever you want to pull out, you know, you have a console logged out there, so just feel free. I'll just do a couple here. So let's do, we have the customer email, and then for the address. So here's a cool little trick. Let's look at the address. It's order, I think it's under customer details. Here we go, address. See? We have city, country, I believe this is the address, postal code, state. So what I want to do is pull out the key and the value and put this in a H1 and put this in a H2. How do I do that? Here's a cool little trick if you want to use both of these and just output it in your code. We'll go here, delete this, do an object and do object.entries, and we can pass in this order.customer details.address, and we can map over this, map over this like that. And here we can hit enter, do another parentheses and square brackets, and we can pull out the key and the value like that and run another little function. Okay, so you can use this object entries to basically separate the key and the value. And then here you can basically return let's do a p tag where the key equals to the key like that. And then here we can output key and value like that. Looks a bit weird, I know. Oh, sorry, this should be in here like that. Okay, so check this out. We are outputting the city as a paragraph and the value as a paragraph. How cool is that? You just do object entries, map over it, and you have the key and the value accessible to you. And we can do the same thing pretty much to the orders. Or, I mean, if you want to, you can just do this. Let's go here to products. You can do order.line items, .data, .map. And we can get each item here, and we can return a div. Like that. With a key of item.id. And here, I mean, you could do this. You could just do a p tag and say product is going to be item.description. And then here we can do p quantity is going to be item.quantity. And price is going to be item.price.unit amount. Okay, let's hit save on that. Take a look. Oh, perfect. Look at that. We have all of our products displaying there as well. Lovely job. All right, so it asked us to add the key, which we did. So we shouldn't be getting that error message anymore. That looks pretty good to me. So let's look. I found one. Let's do Shiba Inu PNG. Why not? Which one did I use? I don't think I used this one, but this one is darn cute. It's Pinterest. Oh, I cannot access it easily. Oh, this is the one I used. Here he is. Let's get it. It's worth the effort. Download. We have to wait 2 seconds, but it's okay. Download PNG. There we go. Got it. Perfect. So let's get that image. Drag it into our public. Okay, so that's where you need to add it. There we go. And let's rename this to just Shiba.png. Perfect. So to add our little image, we'll import this image from next image. Remember, I mentioned this, that we can use Next.js's image component to render out images, and it does some optimizations, and there's a lot of different cool properties that you can do to it. So just below our button here, we can just say image, and by default you can literally just do a source on it and say Shiba, and the alt is gonna be a Shiba Inu. Okay. We need to also import that image that we added to our files. So let's do import Shiba from /public/shiba.png. All right, and we are using it down here. So if we Google this next image, there's quite a few things that you can do to it. You can modify the width of it. You can use height on it. You can make it automatically responsive. You can do a fill on it, which will grow both in X and Y axes. Yeah, quite a few things you can do to it. You can create different sizes. You can prioritize how it should load. You can adjust the quality of it, so you can just add a quality prop. And there's not much, like it's not hard to use. You just literally add priority and set the equal to true or false. And we're just gonna keep it the regular size, the way it is. It's fine, it's just a simple image. There it is. Cool. Okay, so that's done. Let's style this up a little bit because it's quite ugly now. And since this is just one success page, I'll just add the styling in here, to be honest. So we'll do import styled from styled components. Perfect. Let's go to the bottom. We'll create the wrapper, const wrapper. It's going to be a style div where the margin is going to be something ridiculous, like 5 rem, 15 rem. And then we'll create a card, which is going to be styled. I'm going to make a motion div here because I want to animate this popping in. So we'll import that. I think it automatically imported it. Yeah, but it did it this way with import motion from framer motion, which is not going to work. So we'll do const motion equals require framer motion. Cool. So here, a quick display. Let's do display flex. Flex direction column to it. Align item center. A background of white. Border radius of 2 rem. And a padding of 3 rem, 3 rem. So let's add these up here. So we'll do it on the first wrapper here. That's going to be just to add some margin to it. And then the actual card is going to hold all of our information like that. There we go. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Let's modify the H1s and H2s here a little bit. I mean, I don't know, it looks all right. It's not bad at all. Let's do the button. Let's do button, color, white. We'll do a background of var primary, font size of 1.2 rem. We'll add a font weight of 500 to it. What else should we do? Let's see how that looks. Okay, add a bit of padding to it. 1 rem, 2 rem. Ah, there we go. Kind of looks like the other buttons now. And a cursor of pointer. Cool, so now we can hover over it. Lovely. Let's do 1 or 2 more for the address and the order info, just so we can put them side to side. Let's do const address with 2 Ds. It's going to be a style div where the font size is going to be 1 rem and the width is going to be 100%. So let's take this address and go up here and paste that in there. There we go. And then we are pretty much gonna do the same thing to, let's just copy paste this over. We'll do order info. And this one has a div in here, which we're gonna add a padding bottom of 1 rem. Okay, cool. So let's copy that over. Paste and paste here. And hit save. Okay, I think I'm missing something. Yeah, let's add so these two come next to each other. So let's make another div and wrap the address and the order info like that. Okay, and then we'll name this. Let's do info wrapper like that. So let's go to the bottom and const info wrapper is going to be a style div. It's just going to have a display flex. That's it. There we go, much better. And maybe a bit of padding to it, or margin. 1 rem. Let's do 2 rem, 0 rem. Okay, something like that. This looks a bit too wide though. So let's take a look. What's making it this wide? Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess we could just squish this a bit more together. Let's see, card. See, the padding is quite ginormous here. We can add a specific width to this if you want. Make it smaller like that. Or we can just remove the padding from the left to right. That's gonna squish it down a bit. Or we can also limit the size of this. Let's also I want to add some spacing in between these. H1, H2, H1. Let's go here to the card and just do H2 margin bottom 0.5 rem. Let's see how that looks. There we go. A bit of separation. Is that H2 too? Yeah. Let's just do margin 1 rem, 0 rem. There we go. That's a bit better. That's much more spacious. Yeah, overall, I'm quite happy with this. Again, feel free to style it up a bit more to your liking if you want. Look at that. The redirect works as well. And you can add more info to this card if you want. What else I'm gonna do just quickly is add a little animation, which is just gonna be a fade in. So we'll go to the card here and do an animate. Just do the opacity to 1, scale to 1. And the initial is gonna be opacity 0, scale 0.75, like that. All right. And let's also add a transition, and that's gonna be a duration on it equal to duration of 0.75. Okay, let's take a look. Refresh. Boop. Just a little pop-in message like that. That's pretty cool. I'm happy with that. I mean, it's just a little order confirmation here. But that's it. Oh, this took quite a bit to make, but we made it. So that's the success page. Next up, we are going to do the cancel page, and then we are going to move on to authentication. Again, technically, you'd be done. Yeah, you'd be pretty much done. The order, you can take orders. The only thing that you cannot do, since the user is not authenticated in, is you cannot get that user's order specifically, or make them, so they can view their previous orders. So that's what we're going to do soon. So that's it. See you in a bit.